All right, man. So it looks like Ana Kasparian has gotten some pretty massive backlash. So Ana Kasparian has been going pretty hardcore. She started to make this kind of weird turn that happened a couple years ago. I don't know if it started with the birthing person thing or TYT, Young Turks, and everyone started to kind of go into this weird right-wing framing on a lot of things, whether it be trans issues or whatever it may be. Now, she has been pretty hardcore in terms of being anti-Israel, which is obviously really good, of course. We do not support Israel. Fuck Israel. So that has been really good, but she's kind of gone in pretty deep. So she had to send out this tweet actually addressing everything, addressing the controversy, because a lot of people are having a pretty strong response. But to start out here, this conservative guy from the Babylon Bee, he says, notice the left isn't attacking Tucker or Candace. Now, what we know is on the right wing, there's actually this really big civil war that's going on between the Tucker and Candace wing, who are kind of this like anti-Israel kind of side. And Tucker Carlson is coming out and saying, hey, well, Qatar has a higher, Christian population than Israel does, et cetera, et cetera. And so he's trying to say like, hey, look, the left, he's trying to like link them to the left, it looks like. And so Anna jumps in and she says, Tucker, like 80% of the country doesn't want to go to war with Iran on Israel's behalf. I like that. Less pointless war is good. Of course, yes, a war with Iran obviously is something we should not support. And I think that it's something that I think Trump is going to leave in the back burner. I think if he gets really, really backed into a corner, I think he's going to tap into Iran, overthrowing Iran, because I think it actually is going to be more salient than a lot of people expect. We saw with Venezuela, like nobody cared, because I think no one's really passionate about the Ayatollah, and so it's going to be tough to get people to be sort of against it. So I think he's going to leave it in the back pocket, I think is what he's going to end up doing. This person sends this tweet saying, make the goyim unwake up. So goyim is this is going to be like kind of the main piece of controversy sort of this, topic of video. But goyim basically is a word that you would only really see in 4chan, like even just like 4 years ago. But it's basically a word that means non-Jew. And so it was used kind of as this almost caricature or kind of representation of how Jewish people refer to people who are non-Jews. So basically to say like, oh, they just think we're the goyim, or like, we're non-Jews, etc., that kind of thing. Exclusively used by anti-Semites, pretty much exclusively on 4chan and those kinds of platforms, pretty much. And Ana Kasparian sending, just a tweet responding to this with some laughing emojis. And these two people were just like duking it out in the responses. This guy, whoever this guy like Hyperrod is, this guy is like the biggest meat eater I've ever seen in my life. This dude's going on like a meat eating chain. Look at this, bro. It's just going on a meat eating chain just to defend Ana Kasparian. Unbelievable. But this guy said, coming out as an open anti-Semite, Anna. And then this person just goes on this really crazy, like defense strategy. So the word got mentioned in the Epstein files. And so I think some people are going to view that as a way to kind of be like, hey, like we're just going to make this, like a mainstream word kind of usage, because it's not able to be debated that this word is kind of like something that would just straight up sort of underground use in 4chan and that kind of thing exclusively by anti-Semites. But now I think there may be some people who are going to try to say like make it more mainstream, like, hey, this is kind of a normal thing. And so that's kind of what they're going at it over. And Ana Kasparian responds, coming in saying, hey, bitch, the goyim are waking the fuck up. Deal with it. So a lot of people ended up getting really, really pissed about this comment because she's doubling down, like going pretty hardcore on the goyim thing. And it seems a bit like she's kind of going into the 4chan thing. But what I noticed with Ana Kasparian is, I think her mentality for things is just to go like really, really hardcore on stuff, and she just goes like super into it. She's basically, it's kind of ironic because, she had so much beef with Jimmy Dore, but I almost feel like her and Jimmy Dore are kind of the same person, and she just clearly is going like super, super deep in. And we can even see this video here of like this like video.
Everyone will be on their best
it's
behavior.
Just like,
yes, you're a freak. You're a total
she's definitely like, she's probably scrolling through 4chan and stuff like that 100%. She's going really, really deep into the whole, even Jenk looks like pretty like uncomfortable. He's like, dude, what the fuck? Like, he's like, bro, it's like, what's going on right now? But what's obviously clear is like kind of like the hole that she's digging herself into. It's like pretty obvious where she's going into. And so a lot of people are having like this really strong reaction. And what you can even see is here, like who exactly is kind of like coming out in defense of her or anything like that. You can see, like Candace actually had come out and actually responded to this as well. So Candace actually coming out and saying this, let's see what she says. So Candace coming out and saying, amen. Also really want to get you on the show still, X. So you can see this is the kind of person that she's bringing. I think if you wanted to give a test of like, okay, like, have I gone too far? Like, am I too off the deep end? I think this is like the perfect test for you to see. You've obviously gone off the deep end in terms of if Candace Owens is coming out and being like, yeah, like is endorsing what you're saying. I think it's time to take a second, step back, and just reevaluate your situation. But what I think is going to happen, because if you see the response, like on this tweet, for example, it's almost entirely basically defending her. And I think at the end of the day, I think this is what she's wanted. So she used to get like straight up bullied and harassed by the right wing pretty much, like just nonstop, like any tweet, any video, anything. She was always just so antagonized in everything and just, I would say just straight up bullied and harassed. And I think for her, she wanted this approval. There's no possible way to be like, oh, it's money or anything like that, that she just goes so hard on these kinds of things and just gets stuck into a corner. I think it's just validation from, the Tucker Carlson fans, etc. Because if you go to her tweet, that's what you're going to see. And so I think for her, there's sort of nothing that's going to like make her calm down and back away and chill out and all that kind of stuff. I think she's just going to go even harder. And so honestly, I think that she's probably going to keep going down the hole. I don't think that there's any like bottom for her. And she clearly is just down to get super, super segmented. But she responded saying, I do not regret this comment. I don't apologize. Israel is evil, genocidal, and has destroyed our country. That is true. They're about to drag us into another war, and all we hear from Israelis and their brain-dead supporters is anti-Semite if you disagree with Israel's agenda. This is super weird because it's like, why would you use like a word that's just known to be anti-Semitic and then be like, oh, well, all they're saying is anti-Semite? It's like you're giving them the fuel to that fire. You're giving them the ammunition for that. Like these are completely separate things. They smear you to silence you and all of the Jewish individuals who don't subscribe to their disgusting behavior. Israel loves to play victim as they bomb 7 countries, still land, openly air their genocidal intentions. Yes, that's true. They are the immoral ones. It is a stain on our country that we consider them allies. Yeah, again, 100% true. Many have woken up to this reality. Call me whatever you want. The truth matters, and I'll never apologize for repeating it. This is kind of like a really big, like, just dodge. I think she didn't really address even what she said, why you're using, like, clearly, like, 4chan anti-Semite type of stuff in terms of just verbiage that you're using. It's weird. I don't know whether or not the word could hypothetically get kind of transformed into a sort of more commonplace word, but as of right now, its sort of usage in recent history has only been exclusively 4chan, basically. Now, that could change, and we'll have to kind of see how the word develops in terms of its usage. I doubt it. I doubt it's going to happen because, honestly, what I think is you're going to lose, I'd say, being pro-Palestine right now especially is very popular. It's actually the popular position in the Democratic Party now, not in the Republican Party. But I think you're going to start losing like normies and people like that when you start going into like this 4chan kind of clearly anti-Semite coded language. I think you're definitely going to lose them. And so if there is this sort of causal link, I would say it's actually a negative one. And it generally doesn't make sense to me because why you would go into that direction, I just personally don't understand. There's no utility in it whatsoever. It does have the anti-Semitic connotation 100%. Why you would use it, I don't really personally understand. But I think that her kind of genuinosity is like sort of questionable. Like we see this old tweet here. This is a tweet from 2022. It says, Candace Owens on Kanye West's anti-Semitic tweet. If you're an honest person, you did not think this tweet was anti-Semitic, adding it's like you can't even say the word Jewish without people getting upset. This is back when Kanye was like going completely like insane and just losing his mind over just straight up going anti-Semitic. And Ana Kasparian says, absolute trash, shut the fuck up. No one wants to see Israel gone, you pathetic dick rider for anti-Semites. Again, Israel as a state, as an ethno-state as it exists, should not exist. exist. If it's a state, it's going to exist with equal rights. You have like a two-state solution ideally, but really Israel is an ethno-state in the way that it exists now. It's kind of like Zoran said, it's a state with equal rights, right? It's how it should exist. Israel as an ethno-state should not exist. So she's actually taken like a conservative position. It's like 4 years ago. And so honestly, I think that the genuineness of her positions is like pretty questionable. I personally don't believe her. I think that a lot of people have jumped on this issue because it's very salient amongst like certain crowds of people, etc., to be pro-Palestine. I think that there are people who otherwise are not really as salient, like Nick Fuentes and those kinds of people. Candace Owens, Candace Owens is a really terrible person. Her ideology has been horrible, but she's gained so much like fandom from a lot of people who otherwise would not have liked her. Same with Nick Fuentes, all because she's like going on this anti-Israel thing. And Candace Owens is Candace Owens, Nick Fuentes, these people are straight up anti-Semites. And they've seized on this issue, which is really unfortunate. And so it just sucks to kind of have like those kinds of people hijack the movement and kind of represent a lot of the kind of anti-Israel or pro-Palestine side, sort of in a lot of ways. But I think that obviously being anti-Israel is good, but getting into this kind of weeds of using like clearly anti-Semitic language and just kind of generally we see that Ana Kasparian is kind of going off the deep end. Pretty disappointing, and I think she only recently sort of said that, what Trump is doing is fascism. It took, I think, in Minnesota, and so she was like, oh yeah, well, they're taking out like American citizens or whatever, and it's just like, I don't know, if it's not American citizens, it's like not as bad, and I'm kind of like, I don't know, but I would just say that she's kind of just going off of the deep end. I don't know how much lower she's going to go. Like, even if any response that she sees, she's going to get emboldened even further. So I don't really know what the kind of moment for her is, like where it's like, hey, let me just step back. Let me take a break. Let me sort of reevaluate. There's just no need to use goyim or any of this kind of stuff and start doing the like straight up just like anti-Semitic cartoons type of stuff. But she's not going to stop. She's going to go even harder. And I'm honestly scared to see what's kind of going to happen next.